All right. Welcome, Veterans for Peace and Friends. We're so happy to be able to present this music show to you tonight. We have a couple live performers queued up, as well as some great video performances. Um, First of all, before we start, I want you to make sure you saw my t-shirt. This is from the Aaron Watada days, 2006, thereabout. Um, okay, so I first of all just want to welcome to this. Well, I just went back up a little bit. So as the on the convention planning committee, I kind of volunteered to figure out the music thing, and I know David Rovics because he lives in Portland, where I lived for 15 years and still sort of live there part-time. And I knew Joanne Rand because she is based in Arcata, where I also lived for 6.5 years. So I'd gotten to know them that way as neighbors. And then, but I also remembered, I think I first got to know about David when he performed at a Veterans for Peace convention. Um, well, the one I'm remembering was in Dallas, and I think it was also 2006, or what year was that Cindy Sheehan, uh,
2005. 2005.
2005, the Gold
Yeah.
Star mother left our convention in Dallas to go set up Camp Casey, um, next to Butch W's ranch. Okay, so um, and they're both amazing performers, these two individuals. David is just the most prolific songwriter I think I've ever known of. He's constantly writing about current affairs and updating. And he's also very thoughtful about the way he approaches music as activism. I mean, he does a blog, which I don't read every one of your blogs, but I've read a lot of them, and they're very thoughtfully exploring these ideas of like crossing the boundaries. Like we're so completely divided, and there's some weirdness happening, with the certain people on the left, the cancel culture, whatever you want to call that. And he is able to navigate that with these very thoughtful um, meditations on what is going on and why, and how it affects his world and how it affects all of us. Um, so there's a lot of intelligence behind his writing. And Joanne Rand is um, really strikes me as a virtual, like her voice, the way you express yourself. There's a lot of emotion and a lot of like also just heartfelt lyrics that reflect what's going on in her life, in her world, in her family, in the environment, in the world, and also how it's all those things are so interconnected. Um, and and she just has a beautiful voice. She's not just a songwriter, but she's a music educator, um, multi-instrumentalist. She has a band, and so these are really people that have been dedicated to music as professionals, and also been expressed some sort of activism through their playing. So we're very pleased to have them. And I think Ben Grosscup is very much in the same category, but I don't know him
I
as
I
I'm
can
not
help
as
you out
familiar.
there.
Yeah, Ellen,
I
chime
can
in.
I can help you out there because I've known Ben since he was a little squirt at the People's Music Network, and now he's the executive director of the People's Music Network. And I run into him in all the best places at the best demonstrations, and including Woodstock, where we've had him do a couple of concerts and
David.
one with David. And he's he's a songwriter extraordinaire. He goes straight to the points of the issues. I hope he's going to do Sacrifice Zones tonight, because I think that's like a song that you know goes to the heart of community and the things that people are facing every day in their communities, and looks at those issues and brings them out in the song, and says, this is where the problem is. The problem is not you. You didn't do anything wrong. The problem is these people who are making your home a sacrifice zone. And the way he takes songs and brings them to people's lives, and shows them where their enemies are, and their enemies are not their neighbors. So that's what I have to say about Ben.
Bring on the music.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait, quick question though. We have a couple of videos. Do we want to just introduce those before we play them? Or because, I mean, I could
just throw this one on, the one we wanted to start with. We just wanted to get people to wake them up. This is a song that
Okay.
we happened across. It's called Move the Money, and VFP is involved in a project called Move the Money. And here was this perfect video that just encapsulates everything, by an activist named Uncle D in the DC area. So I'm just gonna throw this up here.
In national news, the official poverty rate remains steady at 11.5%, with 37.9 million people in poverty in 2022, according to the Federal Census Bureau. Despite these numbers, more than 2/3 of the U.S. House of Representatives voted in favor of increasing the Pentagon's budget to a record $886 billion in annual military spending.
Hey Congress, we demand from you, move the money. And the president needs to hear this too, move the money. Both parties playing us like a fool, move the money. We want to feed the people, yes we do, move the money. We got the students, the teachers, the pre-K, the seniors. The budgets are cut, so teachers are leaving. The music and arts, the students, they want it. But just like free lunch, politicians, they cut it. So Congress can give more money for war that makes the rich richer and increasing the poor. So don't you dare laugh, cause it's not funny. We have to organize to move the money. Hey Congress, we demand from you, move the money. And the president needs to hear this too, move the money. Both parties playing us like a fool, move the money. We wanna feed the people, yes we do, move the money. More cuts to healthcare, housing, and food. Society is crumbling, becoming unglued. Carjackings, drive-bys, and even mass shootings. We can do a lot to change. Who are we fooling? Invest in programs like health and nutrition. No more military bases, guns, and ammunition. No money for housing makes us feel crummy. We all must unite to fight to move the money. Hey Congress, we demand from you, move the money. And the president needs to hear this too, move the money. Both parties playing us like a fool, move the money. We wanna feed the people, yes we do, move the money. There's 750 U.S. military bases in over 80 countries. That's a lot of places. The U.S. is the #1 supplier of guns. They end up in our streets killing our daughters and our sons. Both parties increase the Pentagon's budget, who never ever in their history passed an audit. They can't even say ceasefire. How cruddy. So it's up to us to make them move the money. Hey Congress, we demand from you, move the money. And the president needs to hear this too, move the money. Both parties playing us like a fool, move the money. We wanna feed the people, yes we do, move the money.
Okay, what do we got next?
We got David Rovics next.
All right. Take it away.
Excellent. Lovely. Great to be here. Although I had a good time playing at many Vets for Peace conventions in past years when I had people in front of me that I could see, and I like that better. And I vote for having an in-person convention next time. Not that it's up to me, but I am glad to be here with you all anyway. And I think the first song that I'll subject you to, which I still can't figure out how to play on Zoom. We tried for quite a while, actually, trying to figure out what the heck is going on with my computer, but I think it just doesn't like technology or something. But we have some very nicely recorded videos for you, from very recent, some of which have never been seen. This first one we'll do is a song called Ballad of the USS Liberty, which for many VFP members, you don't need me to tell you what the USS Liberty was or what happened to the USS Liberty, but in any case, the song will do that. And if there are any veterans of the USS Liberty watching this, I hope you like the song.
It was the 8th of June, 67, in the middle of the Six-Day War. The international waters off the sands of the Mediterranean shore. They were executing prisoners by a mosque in the Sinai. And that day scores of Egyptian soldiers' bodies there would lie. The IDF was trying to cover up their war crimes, and the USS Liberty saw it all in real time. So the Israeli Air Force got the orders, bombs away, when Israel attacked the USA. The pilot saw the American flag as he came down from the sky. He asked for confirmation and was told to let him fly. They dropped 1,000-pound bombs, and then what they do is drop napalm to burn down the ship along with the crew. After all that, the ship's still afloat, came the IDF's torpedo boats. All the survivors remember the day when Israel attacked the USA. When the sailors lowered escape rafts down to the water, they were met with an aerial slaughter as the IDF attacked all those trying to flee from the fires raging throughout the Liberty. A Soviet ship offered to assist as eventually the Israeli bombers would desist. Somehow the ship managed to limp into the bay when Israel attacked the USA. Sides of the ocean, President Johnson didn't want any unnecessary commotion. Just forget it ever happened. Squash the investigation. No Israelis were punished for committing a violation. They said it was an accident, a thin disguise. Everyone who witnessed believes this is a lie. It was entirely intentional. That's what they say when Israel attacked the USA. 34 Americans dead, bombed or shot, hundreds more maimed on the spot. But the big thing about which the brass was concerned were the NSA documents they wanted burned so they could classify everything top secret. Tell all the survivors, don't talk about it. But finally the truth has seen the light of day when Israel attacked the USA. It was the 8th of June,
Cool, yes, and you're right. A lot of our veterans will know that story and will appreciate that you picked that song for tonight. You know, I didn't figure I was going to be the MC for this whole show, but I
Somebody's got
thought,
to do it.
yes. Um, what's next? What's queued up next, people?
I think David has another song for us.
Oh, okay. I
Oh,
didn't realize.
well, should we go around in a song swap style, like one after the other, or
Pick two at a
Um,
time.
Yeah.
two at a time? Okay, then let's do another one, which is about well, I'll just introduce it. It's the Ballad of the Columbia Eagle, which is which I first heard about Al Glatkowski and Clyde McKay when I was doing some kind of pandemic era thing online, some kind of live stream, and I got a comment from somebody, and then I named Al, and then I got a private message from a friend in Berlin who said, "Do you know who that is? Who's just commented on your video there?" And then I had to do some reading, and I still haven't finished the book that Al also himself has never read. Yeah, don't put him on there. The Columbia Eagle Mutiny, but it's a very good book, and an amazing episode of history at this point, and I think it's one of those episodes that people need to know about, because there was a lot of people doing a lot of things during the Vietnam War to trying to think of anything they might possibly do to change the course of these horrible events that were unfolding. And a lot of people were marching in the streets, and other people were doing other things like leading mutinies on ships.
Gather round, I'll tell a story about a man I know, what he did across the ocean half a century ago. Death was raining from the skies all over Vietnam. Al and Clyde decided they had to try to stop the bombs. These two young men signed up to join the merchant marine, horrified by what they heard along with what they'd seen. They began to have discussions, they found a common goal. They joined the crew of the Columbia Eagle, and then they take control. The ship was full of napalm, heading across the sea to be loaded onto planes and be dropped upon the country to burn the skin off people beneath it. At the time, they vowed to break the law to prevent a greater crime. They thought they'd spend their lives in prison, or more likely they would die. But Clyde and Al agreed that at least they had to try to sail to Cambodia with all the napalm as well, where it might remain forever, the bombs that never fell. They carried out their plan, and they didn't slip. Just two guns between them, but soon they ran the ship. They brought it to neutral waters by Sihanoukville, that these bombs might never be sent to maim and kill. But that's not how it ended. The next thing that we knew, Sihanouk was overthrown. There was a military coup. Clyde McKay died in the jungle, and with so many of his peers in a California prison, Al Glatkowski spent 8 years. The ship was not off course by much more than a bit. The future of the folly, perhaps they didn't change it. But while the blood was flowing and most people spent their days maybe marching in the streets or just joining the rat race, There are those among us who can say they really tried, who did everything they possibly could to stop the fratricide. If you see a big white beard on the Central Eastern shore, he might be a mutineer who tried to stop the war. Gather round, I'll tell a story about a man I know, what he did across the ocean half a century ago.
All right, thank you. Now we're going to spotlight Joanne.
All right. Whew, let's see. I think I'm going to start off with a non-topical song, a more universal song, but it's called Dream of Peace. And I wrote this, 40 years ago when I was living out on some land. You had to canoe and hike a mile in. And it was just so beautiful and peaceful there. And it was just wishing that, for everyone. So it's called Dream of Peace. I sing of the sun and the moon and the stars, whose spirits surround us. I sing of a comfort that is ours, wrapped like a blanket around us. I sing of the days and the nights ahead. I sing of the living and the dead. I sing of everything you said, you who surround us. I sing of the colors yet to come, of a rainbow in my yard. I sing of the things that must be done, although we may find them hard. I sing of a cold wind from the north. I sing of a sky that's bursting forth. I sing of a strange and wild dream of peace. Oh, do, 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 do. Hey, de, 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 da, 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 da. Hey, de, ooh, do, do, dee, 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 dee. I sang of the sun and the moon and the stars, brightest future that is ours. I sang of the days and the nights ahead, though we may face them with dread. I sang of a cold wind from the north. I sang of a sky that's bursting forth. I sing of a strange and wilder dream of peace. All right.
Beautiful.
I can't play with the earplugs in my ears.
Made me think of the fact that it's raining there now.
Pouring down. Yeah. Beautiful. So should I just launch? I'll do another song. This one is it came out on the day the Twin Towers fell in Manhattan, 2001. And there was that moment when the whole world was holding its breath because we hadn't retaliated, and the whole world was empathetic. We're not the whole world, but we had a chance, and didn't have. Are we going to start another war? There was that moment of like hope, and sure enough, we did start another war. But this song I wrote on that day. There were obviously no planes in the sky. Everything stopped. Everything was still for a moment, holding its breath. And my daughter was 6 months old. We went hiking up in the redwoods, and we sat inside of a redwood ring, huge redwood ring, and just said our prayers, for the world. And it brought to mind a painting I had done about 15 years earlier of a picture of the earth with a bomb on one side and a religious icon on the other and a family circled up in the middle. So this song came right out that day. Take the earplug out. It's called Circle at the Heart. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, and inside a family, man and woman and baby, a family, you and me. And on one side of the earth is a bomb, and on the other is a cross. War and peace circling around. Hold the center where the heart is found. There's a circle at the heart of the earth. And inside a family, man and woman and baby, a family. And on one side of the earth is the night, and on the other is the day, day and night, one and the same. Hold the center in the family name. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, and inside a family, man and woman and baby, grandmother, grandfather. And on one side of the earth is desire, and on the other is dread, love and fear, one and the same. Hold the center in the family name, night and day, one and the same. Hold the center in the family name, war and peace circling around. Hold the center where the heart is found. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, we pray for compassion. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, we pray for relief. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, we pray for vision. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, we pray for peace. We pray for peace, for peace. And on other is a day, day and night, one and the same. Hold the center in the family name, and on one side of the earth is desire, and on the other is dread, love and fear, one and the same. Hold the center in the family name, night and day, one and the same. Hold the center in the family name, war and peace circling around. Hold the center where the heart is found. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, we pray for compassion. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, we pray for relief. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, we pray for vision. There's a circle at the heart of the earth, we pray for peace. We pray for peace, for peace.
I think we should encourage people to unmute for a second to clap and then mute again. So,
Great
Good
idea.
idea.
yeah, a little feedback for these musicians who are working in their isolation. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, everybody. All right. So, next we have a video from an oud player from Chicago, and Becky, maybe you can.
Yeah, I just this is 3 videos that came from Issa Boulos, and we were connected to him through Jim Janko, who's a member of Veterans for Peace, I believe. I don't know if he's in Chicago but and he was referred by Barry Reish. So I don't know
Albuquerque.
exactly the relationships. Somebody else knows.
He's in Albuquerque. Jim is.
Say that again.
Jim is in
was in
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
Okay.
Barry's in Minnesota.
And the first one that we're going to play here is called Voices, Faces, and Subtle Colors, Song for Refugee Children. So here we go.
Voices like hands, hiding in dreams, drawings on sands, falling like seeds. Voices like hands, hiding in dreams, drawings on sands, falling like seeds. Voices like voices, hiding, drawings on sands, falling like seeds. Faces in newspapers passing through time, pausing for no favors, mirrors of time. Faces, papers passing through time, pausing for no favors, mirrors of time. Holding their things like nothing so dear, their eyes like wings from hope or fear. Holding their things like nothing so nothing, their eyes like wings from hope or fear. Forgetting what colors are in smell of roses, losing their touch when the door closes. Forgetting what colors are in smell of roses, losing their touch when the door closes. Silence or whispers, whispers, or silence. Their whispers, fingers Faces in newspapers passing through time, pausing for no favors, mirrors of time. Faces in newspapers passing through time, pausing for no favors, mirrors of time.
Wow. Beautiful song. Beautiful imagery. Thanks for having me. My name's Ben Grosscup. I'm going to do a song called Palestine. It was written by Jim Page. And also Christy Moore also covered it, and I kind of combined it together. But he wrote this song many years ago, and then updated it in the context of this gruesome genocide we're seeing unfolding in Gaza. So the song's called Palestine. I'll tell you a story, I'll be quick as I can. The terrible news from the Holy Land. Pictures of children etched in my brain, covered in rubble and wails of pain. Jews and Arabs lived one and the same for 1,000 years, till the Zionists came. They came like a river, came like a flood. Al-Nakba was written on the wall in blood in Palestine. In Palestine. There's talk about the settlers from far away. Talk about the money from the USA. The blast of bombs, thousands dead. Killer drone hovering overhead. What do you do when they destroy your home and say your land is not your own? Do you dare to resist? Do you stand up with a gun in your fist in Palestine? In Palestine. They talk about peace like it's a moral obligation, but there can't be peace under occupation. They talk about talks, talks, talks to the beat of the drum. 70 years now, no justice done. Let's talk about who we endorse. Smug politicians who ride an iron horse. No wonder why it seems to be such an undemocratic version of democracy in Palestine. In Palestine. Let me tell you a story. I'll be quick as I can. This terrible news from the Holy Land.
Yeah, I don't know about the unmuting and applauding, but that was great.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think I met met Jim Page through David Rovics many years ago. Incredible songwriter, beautiful songwriter. I'm gonna do a song that I wrote. This one's called Uncle Sam Sees a Shrink, and Uncle Sam Sees a Shrink. Imagine you needed a therapist because you had a lot of anxiety, and maybe what was causing your anxiety was your desire to dominate other people. That was kind of the concept for this song. Imagining our good old Uncle Sam would seek professional assistance, but who knows really if he could get help. I don't know. Sometimes you ask for help, but you're not in a position where you can actually receive it. So Uncle Sam Sees a Shrink. So what brought me here, Shrink, is I started to think that perhaps I've gone into decline. I almost forget when the sun never set on countries whose rules I define. My unrivaled power meant nations would cower and help my vast wealth to accrue. If one wasn't supine or they got out of line, well, I'd just take them out in a coup. And I have by far the best nuclear warheads. Each one is on trigger alert. My hundreds of foreign bases are spread to maintain the control I exert. So doctor, help me. I can't understand why wielding this power feels pointless and bland. Even with all my arms, my wealth and grandeur, I still feel so insecure. So insecure, so insecure. Even with my grandeur, I feel so insecure. So be frank with me, please. I'm down on my knees. Your words come with weighty credentials. Why am I in this pain? Can you help me regain the status of being essential? It just makes me irate when erstwhile client states demand that I honor their borders. I feel anxious and sick. Check the diagnostic manual of mental disorders. Hey doctor, what's the assessment at which you've arrived? And where's it described in this text? Well, I'm paging up there right now in the DSM-5. Just tell me the section heading again. The military industrial complex? Wow! You found my complex. You found my complex. I'll read next from this text where you found my complex. It says the symptoms are fraudsters and hacks win the biggest contracts. building jet fighters and drones. Economies go down in the cities and towns once lenders start calling in loans. Doc, my global franchise runs on free enterprise. You're missing my problem's causation. Just help me to see all the threats facing me, like the meddling done by foreign nations. Or do you mean to imply that the very armed forces, key to the power I've known, empty me of my best resources, and cause me to feel so alone? Feel so alone. Feel so alone. Don't tell me you've known why I feel so alone. My consultants attested that you were the best, but I clearly see now you're a phony. I pay you too well to be left in this hell of the stress that comes with hegemony. This session has only made me feel more ill and thrown your prestige into doubt. You should have known I'm a shining city on a hill. We're done now and I'm walking out. Thank you.
Oh, there's Dave Rovics.
There he is. Who said that?
I'm
Let's
from
see.
Minnesota.
Ah, wonderful. I'll be sort of near Minnesota soon. Well, not really. Chicago, Wisconsin, Viroqua. It's near Minnesota, not that near though. Let's see here. I had now I was what? Yeah, I'll do. Well, is it appropriate to say I'll do another song when I'm actually just about to play? It's a video that was clearly recorded right here in this room, as you could tell from the last one. At least if you're, yeah. I had the view I had was of me playing this song and me sitting here with the exact same backdrop, same headphones, but a different T-shirt on. So I don't know what which view everybody else is looking through, but it's always a bit surreal. But yeah, I've been as with I know so many people, members of or associates of Veterans for Peace. I've been waking up every day wondering how many people in Gaza my government has assisted in killing over the past time I've been asleep. And I know it's a feeling familiar to many for so long as our government has been involved in other similar genocidal wars, as that some people in this Zoom room were active participants in one and in opposing as well. And one such person was Aaron Bushnell, and I wrote a song which is imaginatively titled Song for Aaron Bushnell, because Jim Page always names songs like Song for this and Song for that. It was good enough for him, so I just started naming songs that, and ballads randomly. There's no difference. I don't know what the difference is between a song and a ballad, but some of my songs are songs and others are ballads, and this one is the song for Aaron Bushnell, who I believe needs no introduction, or if it does, then the song will tell you about him.
On the 25th of February, 2024, in protest against a US-sponsored genocidal war, as bombs were falling and exploding all around, burning up the bodies of the children on the ground, huddling in tents and just waiting to die, this young man could no longer stand to hear the cries. International Drive in Washington, D.C., a young airman walked up to the Israeli embassy as mothers buried babies who had no milk within, as white phosphorus munitions burned off the people's skin, as the troops were firing on those trying to find bread, as the body count was building up to 30,000 dead. Dressed in his fatigues, there on Embassy Row, he announced into the camera this was where he'd meant to go. An act of desperation, and one designed to share the horrors of the crimes being committed over there, like a mirror to the world, so no one could look away from what's happening in Gaza every minute of each day. He stood in front of the building, as ready as he'd get. He put his phone down so he could live stream it on the net. When he lit the fire, on the day he chose to die, with no way to stop the slaughter, at least he had to try. As the flames rose up, yellow, red, and blue, did he look up at the cross and wonder what would Jesus do? The Secret Service came to point a gun at Aaron's face. The airman didn't move, he just stood in place. He'd come to make a spectacle, that was understood. If he couldn't stop the war, he'd do what he could, as his body burned before us in an unmistakable sign. Again and again he shouted out, "Free Palestine!" On the 25th of February, 2024.
And I was just, thank you. I was just recently in Australia, and other tours I've done since the genocide in Gaza began to unfold. Have been in England and France and Scandinavia and everywhere outside of this country. In all the major cities that I've been to, there are marches and rallies happening every weekend. For many months in some cities like Copenhagen and many others, the marches were daily, and they were some of the biggest marches that the city has ever had. And so everywhere I go outside of this country, I'm singing at rallies every weekend, and then I come back here and they're not having music at the rallies. But recently in Sydney, Australia, I sang this next song, "Boycott, Sanction, and Divest," and just as the song was written to be sung, it was the chant at the end of it turned into a chant that everybody was chanting, which was So it was a model audience, which we could try to do that on Zoom, but it's not going to work. So just imagine how it could be cool if everybody was chanting at the end. But I wrote this song when the occupations began in the Northeast, around the campus occupations, and then spread throughout the country and throughout the world.
It's happening now like it has before at the universities in a time of war. Put people together, they'll communicate. Talk about things like college and state. Talk about the research that built the Iron Dome. Talk about their relatives starving back at home. Talk about tuition and where the money's spent, and where all the buildings in Gaza went. Wake up each morning and the headlines say how many hundreds of Palestinians died today, how many thousands were killed in the past week. People get together, people speak. The newscasters say with surety the campuses lack security. Meanwhile, across the ocean wide, Palestinian genocide. People are saying they won't leave till they win, and then the police are sent in. Beaten and arrested staff and students to try to silence this growing movement. They're punishing people for making it known that the direct connection can be easily shown. How the investments of this institution are funding another final solution. Where it goes is anyone's guess. After all, this is the U.S. Battles have been lost and won, but with bombs being dropped every day by the ton, with the orphaned and famished beneath the sky, waiting for the moment when it's their turn to die. Some people just can't look away. They have to set up a tent on the campus and say, boycott, sanction, and divest. 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 Boycott, sanction, and divest.
Boycott, sanction, and divest. Boycott, sanction, and divest. Boycott, sanction, and divest. Come on, people.
Boycott,
Excellent,
sanction,
excellent.
and
I was just glad to hear anybody doing it. Ellen and Tarek, excellent. And you got a crowd right there. It's like it's a two-person mob right there.
That wasn't us. It wasn't
Oh
us.
no, it was somebody else. Oh, great, great.
So yeah, and I
That
love
was
how
Vicky,
made
Vicky
it all
and Doug.
American.
Vicky,
Wonderful.
Boycott, sanction, and divest.
boycott,
sanctions, and divest.
It's the right order
Boycott,
of the words, I think.
sanctions, and divest.
It works best as a chant in that order, in those words, if I may, yeah. Whoever came up with boycott, divest, sanctions, I think they were not thinking about the chant potential of the three words together.
So the next song we have a very special special guest with us tonight, who is she's a member of the extended VFP community, and she's Ruby Shurley, who's the daughter of our National Vice President Josh Shurley, and she's we have her recent rendition of a song that I think that we'll all relate to, which is I had never heard it before. It's a great selection, "Down in the Streets" by Carsey Blanton. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Ruby Shurley. I'm 11 years old. This song is by an activist named Carsey Blanton, who I really like. I think it goes really well with Veterans for Peace and what we all want, which is peace and justice. The song is called "Down in the Streets." I hope you like it. Mama, it's a disaster, going faster and faster, and all of my heroes turning out to be bastards. Ain't no peace to be found in this company town, 'cause the house will keep winning till we burn the house down. All my friends in the streets tonight, we go singing. All my friends who are down and out, we're gonna fight. To all my friends in the up above, with all our rage and all our love, adding fuel to the fire down in the streets tonight. Well, they call it a riot, 'cause we ain't keeping quiet. And if you've been listening, you know we don't buy it. And they say we've been stealing But who's a real villain when we can't even make a living? When they're out there making a killing. All my friends in the streets tonight, we go singing. All my friends who are down and out, we're gonna fight. To all my friends in the up above, with all our rage and all our love, adding fuel to the fire down in the streets tonight. Well, they can lock us up and they can knock us down. We're the ones who run this town. We're gonna shout it out till we make them face. We're the ones who own this place. They can lock us up and they can knock us down. We're the ones who run this town. We're gonna shout it out till we make them face. We're the ones who own this place. All my friends in the streets tonight, we go singing. All my friends in the sound and out, we're gonna fight. To all our friends in the up above, with all our rage and all our love, adding fuel to the fire down in the streets tonight. Down in the streets tonight. Down in the streets tonight. Free Palestine.
That's great.
I just want to say, we know where that passion comes from.
Yep.
You know, it's in her genes. So thank you, Josh, and thank you, Ruby. And now I'm going to turn it over to Joanne.
Wow. God, she was just great. So this is a song I wrote. Every year I sing at an event called the Oregon Country Fair. I've been singing at it since 1989. That's where I met Jim Page. And there was a wonderful guy who used to come there and perform every year by the name of Jim Hind. And then one year I got this phone call asking if I could take Jim Hind's set because he had just passed away. And I had just met him the year before. And big man, big heart. And, you know, the first time he came to Seattle, he was a Vietnam vet from, and he came shortly thereafter to Seattle on a boxcar. And then the next time he came through town in Seattle, he had a family, wife and a child, daughter. And he tried to hold down a job, but he just couldn't hack it, you know, with the war haunting him. So he picked up his guitar and he went down to Pike Street Market and he started singing. And singing about how I felt, singing about the world, singing about politics. And for the next, 20 years, he supported his family that way. And he sent his daughter to college. She's now, I think she's an environmental lawyer. She's a professor at a university. And I just took a class from her in my nursing program. She's a teacher. So this song I wrote before taking the set on the stage, and it's about Jim Hind. It's written to Jim Hind, and it's called Hey Jim. Hey Jim, why did they have to send a big kind man like you to a place where you had to do things no man should ever do? Hey Jim, what was a big kind man doing in a place like that? You watched your generation fall, and that ain't all. You never did get over it. And all those years singing your heart out, all those years singing for your family, all those years we watched your soul spill over, still alive. Hey, Jim, is it true what they say, how you died of a broken heart, watching them cart away young men again and watching one more war start? Hey, Jim, is it true what they say about how you could shout down the wind? Just because we've always killed, you said, don't mean we always will. And surely war must end. And all those years singing your heart out, all those years singing for your family, all those years we watched your soul spill over, still alive. Don't raise a flag, you said, don't raise a gun. How could they take and twist our young, turning one more generation pure at heart into dark? Don't raise a flag, you said, don't raise a gun. Raise a pen, raise your tongue, raise your children with respect for everyone. That's what you did, Jim Hine. You spoke your mind. So for this good man, let's raise a glass to the sky. Let's celebrate freedom. Let's believe that a man like Jim can change this world. And what about you and me? Let's raise our voice. Let's raise our voice. Let's raise our children to rejoice. Let's raise our kids to believe in free choice. That's what you did. You spoke your mind. Speak your mind like Jim Hyde. Hey, Jim, why did they have to send a big, kind man like you? Thanks. I see the hands. This is a song I wrote and in 2016. And my daughter was in high school and she was supposed to go over to Paris with her high school class. And they couldn't go because of, I think it was a shooting, a mass shooting in a nightclub there. And her French teacher said bombings and things like that are constant over there. So I wrote this song. It's called Little People's War. Tale goes on forever of a little people's war. Do you think it's human nature or what we're fighting for? As the centuries roll forwards, the battle presses on. It's been this way forever since Genghis Khan. Do you think it's human nature? Do you think we'll ever find peace of mind? Peace of mind. Legend goes there is a lighthouse standing bravely on a hill. beside an ancient stone circle of prehistoric skill. Rumor has it all who seek this place already hold the key to climb inside that spiral and light the lamp of peace. Do you think it's human nature? Do you think we'll ever find peace of mind? Peace of mind. Hey, 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 hey. Ooh, 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 ah, oh, oh, down, down. The light of peace has been shining for eons, it seems. Do you think we'll ever find it in this spider web of dreams? When the whites of our eyes meet the whites of theirs, can there be understanding in this comedy of errors? Can the lighthouse shine forever while we bomb our world to hell? Can there be a future? Only future can tell. The light of peace has been shining for eons, it seems, somewhere deep inside us, somewhere in our dreams. Can the world outlive this tale of a little people's war? Or is it human nature? Can we be more? When the whites of my eyes meet the white of God, can I outlive my human blood? Do you think it's human nature? Do you think we'll ever find peace of mind? Peace of mind. Peace of mind. Peace of mind.
Wow.
Yeah, heavy.
Thanks.
Thank you. So next we have another offering from Issa Boulos. It's called Al Safi.
عالسفح أعلى من البحر، عالسفح أعلى من السرب، ناموا خافوا. عالسفح أعلى من البحر، عالسفح أعلى من السرب، ناموا خافوا.
عالسفح أعلى من البحر، عالسفح أعلى من السرو ناموا خافوا، عالسفح أعلى من البحر، عالسفح أعلى من السرو ناموا خافوا. طار الحمام، طار الحمام، طار الحمام، طار الحمام. راحوا ما رشوا عورق المي ريحة نسامين، راحوا ما زرعوا برمل السماء ورد لعتمتهم، راحوا ما رشوا عورق المي ريحة نساميهم، راحوا ما زرعوا برمل السماء ورد لعتمتهم. ناموا أعلى من البحر، أعلى من السرو عسفح الكون. وطار الحمام، طار الحمام، وطار الحمام، طار الحمام. عالسفح أعلى من البحر، عالسفح أعلى من السرو ناموا خافوا، عالسفح أعلى من البحر، عالسفح أعلى من السرو ناموا خافوا. طار الحمام، طار الحمام، طار الحمام، طار الحمام. يا نايمين عآخر الأرض فينا سلام الله، سلام الله، سلام الله عليكم.
I just want to jump in here for a second because somebody wants to say hi to David. And I just want to say, as if I didn't already love David enough for his music and his politics, a few months back when he and Ben did a concert in Woodstock and David stayed at our house and he opted to sleep out on the porch, the screen porch, which is also Ari's room. And in the morning, he reported that Ari had climbed onto the couch with him and that they had worked it out and he'd spent a quite comfortable night. And now is enough to make me love David Rovics forever because sharing a couch with this guy is quite a feat. So thank you. And now
It's a wonderful dog.
and now, Ben, it's yours.
Thank you. I remember that night. Those good times. Well, this song I'm about to sing is a rendition of a song that was written in 1965 by the great Phil Oakes called "Love Me, I'm a Liberal," and this is a song I've kind of reinterpreted first in 2016, and I've posted a number of updates to my YouTube channel over the years. And this is my very latest update. This hasn't gone on YouTube yet. So you're getting it here first, but I usually just change a few words here and there, each little verse. But basically, you know, in 65, Phil Oakes was fed up with the hypocrisy of the liberalism of his day, and he took it upon himself to write this sardonic song. And I just try to follow the political logic of the original song and update the events. So here it is. Love me, I'm a liberal. I mourned the Tiananmen martyrs, whose protests were brutally quelled, and cheered when Mandela walked freely after so many years in a cell. But Mr. Assange still belongs in prison. Those secrets were not his to tell. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I attend diversity trainings, and I leave feeling so reassured. I love Oprah and Magic and Foreman. It's great seeing blacks become entrepreneurs. But don't go and vote third party. That's not the way to be heard. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I cheered when Harris was chosen, my faith in the system restored. And I'll never forgive Ralph Nader for the election he stole from Al Gore. And my neighborhood welcomes all races of people with high credit scores. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. Voters need more education to achieve democracy's aims. Our enemies spread memes in their news feeds, sowing division and national shame. But if you want socialized healthcare, you really must be insane. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I listen to All Things Considered. I'd consider anyone's views. You know, I've read D'Angelo and Kendi, and I'm probably more woke than you. And when Ukraine wants advanced weapon systems, there's no one more yellow and blue. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I vote for the Democratic Party. They're strengthening NATO command. I support Bono's benefit concerts and buy everything endorsed by his brand. We're gonna make poverty history, posting on Facebook, taking a stand. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. Sure, once I was young and impulsive, I wore every conceivable pin. I fought for a socialist future, which I actually thought we might win. But I've grown older and wiser, and that's why I'm turning you in. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. Thank you very much. Thank you for the comments in the chat. It was mentioned earlier, I'm the executive director of the People's Music Network for Songs of Freedom and Struggle. Not singing or speaking on behalf of any organization tonight, but I did want to mention about this next song. One of the great things about the People's Music Network is it's a community of artists and activists that are like using song in political struggle in a variety of ways. And so actually at the last winter gathering that happened in New York City in January, I heard this song, Shut Down the System Now, but it had totally different verses. It was kind of like written about a different thing. And then David Rovics, gosh, when that campus student movement kicked off in the spring, I was so excited about the actions that the students were taking. I was texting with David, and he sent me the Boycott, Sanction, and Divest song that you heard earlier about campus life. And it made me think, oh gosh, what song could I write, So then I thought, I heard Jason Baker do Shut Down the System Now at PMN. Maybe I could do new verses. Haha. So here comes the creative cauldron, the sort of vibrancy of people thinking through songs together, thinking through the function songs play in the movement. That's one of the things that can happen at the People's Music Network, and it's super exciting when it does. And this was very exciting, I think, when I heard this chorus and the repeating line, but all the verses are mine. So here it goes. Shut down the system now. I came here for school so I could be an engineer. Shut down the system now. They want to use me as a tool, designing high-tech weapons gear. Shut down the system now. But I want to use my brains for pursuits that bring me pride. Shut down the system now. Not making fighter planes for the Gaza genocide. Shut down the system now. We're gonna shut down the system now. Shut down the system now. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system now. That's your part. Raise up your fist. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system now. So I considered a career with a politics degree. Shut down the system now. And the professors tried to steer me to the U.S. Embassy. Shut down the system now. Where the policy is made so Uncle Sam can be on top. Shut down the system now. Even if when we invade over 1 million bodies drop. Shut down the system now. We're gonna shut down the system now. Come out and shut it down. Shut down the system. Shut it down for Palestine. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system now. So I gave it one more try and took a full course in PR. Shut down the system now. And I learned a reason why campus life is so bizarre. Shut down the system now. When students won't be swayed by standard Zionist cliches. Shut down the system now. There comes a Hasbara brigade to set their young careers ablaze. Shut down the system now. We're gonna shut down the system now. Shut down the system now. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system now. As my disenchantment grew with my university, shut down the system now. I realized it was true. I am much more than my degree. Shut down the system now. For I've learned to stand up for the oppressed and my own rights. Shut down the system now. Standing in the way of war in the campus square each night. Shut down the system now. We're gonna shut down the system now. Come out and shut it down. Shut down the system. Shut it down for Palestine. Raise up your fist and show you can resist them. Shut down the system. Shut down the system. Shut down the system now.
Upbeat. Yay.
Thank you.
And Becky points out that yeah, Ben ended up being part of this concert because he was at the Peace Walk at the end of the Peace Walk in DC on in July, and Paul Cox came way all fired up. He said, "We got to get this guy for the concert." So our next offering is from another VFP member, Ralph. I hope I'm going to say this right. Rob MOITOZA. I hope I'm saying it right. He's a member of the Seattle chapter in Washington, and he's a bassist, vocalist, and a songwriter who's got 100 record album credits, and he's written over 1,000 songs. He's a recording engineer and a producer. And this song was written by his friend Craig Ingraham, who died in 2020. So the song is dedicated to his memory. And it's called World on Fire, which, alas, is what we have.
All right, I'd like to do a song that a friend of mine wrote. He wrote this about 9/11. I think it's just as appropriate with Ukraine going on and global warming, all the fires we've had out here. The name of the song is World on Fire.
Look at Mother Nature on the run. Yes, I know I'm a fortunate son. Everybody's pissed and they're calling for war. They want revenge and not much more. Well, I'll tell you the truth, baby, I'm no liar. Nobody wins with the world on fire. Nobody wins with the world on fire. Every day when I look around, I see what we need is common ground. We need to understand what we fear the most, or evil will prevail from coast to coast. Baby, I love you, you're my heart's desire. Nobody wins with the world on fire. Nobody wins with the world on fire. Well, there's a beast outside and he wants you dead, but you didn't pay attention to the things he said. A sneak attack on a sunny morning. Didn't see the signs, didn't heed the warning. Lucky to live in the USA. I'm a California boy to my dying day. You better live from the past or bound to repeat it. For whatever it is, we'll never defeat it. Peace and understanding, that's what we require. Nobody wins with the world on fire. Nobody wins with the world on fire. Nobody wins. We're not getting any audio on this one.
That was just the end. That's how that was the end. It was supposed to be dramatic. Anyway, I think we're bringing Dave up here.
Hello, is that me? I lost track of the order of things.
Yes, that
Let's
is
see.
you.
Here's
If
me.
If
Okay.
you see
Yes.
yourself on the screen, it's you.
Oh, that's good. Okay. So, I wrote a song. Well, I started writing songs last October and wrote about 3 albums worth of songs on a particular subject. And I wrote this next song, Famine and Disease, after watching, like, on Al Jazeera. They have, when the United Nations heads of departments have a press conference, they actually break from their regular programming and show us the press conference as if people like the head of the United Nations or the head of the of UNRWA or some other agency actually matters, unlike in the Western press when they're just ignored. But months ago, maybe last October or November, they were talking about how very soon the number of people in the Palestinians dying of famine and disease would far outnumber the number of people who were dying from the bombing or from the buildings collapsing on them and all that. And now, of course, that is exactly what's happening. And I wrote this next song as a public service announcement, basically, to tell people what was coming.
In the places they report it, if you listen to the news, you'll hear the press conferences and the words they choose to describe the facts on the ground. In the Gaza Strip, you can hear the measured phrases, see the trembling lips, uttering words so rarely spoken, eyes open wide as one official after the other speaks of genocide. From the head of each department, you can hear the powerless pleas. The next wave of the carnage will be famine and disease. As the fighter jets rain missiles down from way up in the sky, as the tower blocks collapse with each mission that they fly, as the hospitals are targeted along with everything, as the cameras show us the apocalypse they bring. With no buildings, with no homes, when no structure remains, once it's all been leveled by the ships and tanks and planes, every medical practitioner around the earth agrees the next wave of the carnage will be famine and disease. As the Congress writes a blank check to facilitate the slaughter, Biden says he told them to let in the food and water, but they're not, and nothing happens but more destruction everywhere. White phosphorus burning, any skin exposed to air. Actions making clear that annihilation is the Israeli regime's plan for the Palestinian nation. If you survive the bombings, you don't burn or freeze. The next wave of the carnage will be famine and disease. Across the world, from Yemen to Algeria, militias on the move, from Lebanon to Syria, while on the Gaza Strip, if they have a working phone, they're trying to tell us all, don't just leave us here alone. Don't look away as this happens again, while this world still has Palestinians, because for all these refugees descended from other refugees, the next wave of the carnage will be famine and disease.
The last song I have picked out there that actually seems to have worked well with the timing of this event is it's called "If a Song Could Raise an Army," and it's one of my occasional efforts to try to imagine what if the the world could be a little bit better, and what if writing songs actually could change things.
If a song could bring us together across the planet that gave us birth, to act as one, bring peace and justice all around this shattered earth. If a song could take down borders, take down fences, make them fall, liberate all those imprisoned, kept behind the ghetto walls. If a song could stop the bombs, so the next might be the last. If a song could change the future, so it won't be like the past. If a song could be a missile fired from the Iron Dome, if it could protect the children, keep them safe within their homes. If a song could raise an army and transport it on command, take us all to Palestine to defend the Holy Land. If a song could be concrete and put to use to rebuild, if it might turn back the clock, bring back all the babies killed. If a song could be a blueprint, instructions to show us how. If a song could change the world, then let us do it now. If a song could bring us together across the planet that gave us birth, to act as one, bring peace and justice all around this shattered earth.
Thank you.
And we have one last offering from Issa Boulos. It's called Almina. So here it is.
شفت السنبة سلطانية بلون الموج عالمينا شفت السنبة سلطانية بلون الموج مش عارف مين الجاب الورد وسابه حد الموج مش عارف مين الجاب الورد وسابه حد الموج
Here's an anthem that goes beyond national borders. It's an international national anthem for the whole world.
Ring them bells, the fire's dancing. Ring them bells, the storm has come. Ring them bells, the fire is dancing. Ring them bells, the storm has come, people. Nation of earth, land of our birth. And that's your line if you feel like it. Nation of earth, land of our birth. Storms rising and the skies are tumbling down. People gathering together as one, hoping for change and changing as it comes. When it hits survival level, revolution has begun. What do you think about? What do you think about that? Nation of earth, land of our birth. What do you think about? What do you think about that? Nation of earth, land of our birth. Look deep in our eyes, there's a fire inside, and it comes from a feeling much deeper than pride. It comes from a land of our birth. It comes from a handful of earth. It comes from the fire and the sky and the rising tide. What do you think about? What do you think about that? Nation of earth, land of our birth. You could sing it. Nation of earth, land of our birth. Ring them bells, the fire is dancing. Ring them bells, the storm has come. And this next one is just written for the people, all the people, the voice of the people, because so many wars are just fought by the working people and designed by the wealthy and the powerful. And we're going to rise up like a flying rattlesnake.
keep the good man down. Can't keep the people down. Can't keep this woman down. I'm back around, I'm back around. Gonna live the life I please, free from hunger, trouble, toil, and disease. I'm gonna get up off my knees, I'm gonna rise. Behold, I stand before your very eyes, beating hearts, rattlesnake, hard-working woman, hard-working man, just trying to do the best we can. Looking up this mountainside, it seems impossibly high. Oh, but you can't keep us down, 'cause the people are awake. And from this muddy ground there comes a flying rattlesnake. Arise and fly, touch the sky. Arise and fly, no questions why. Your destiny is about to begin. Rise and shine. Set the pace for humankind. No, you cannot keep us down. No, you cannot keep us down. Oh, you can't keep us down. The people will arise. Behold, we stand before your very eyes. Thank you.
So before I bring Ben up to sing us on out of here, I want everybody to unmute and just give all these musicians a round, because they came here and they play. It's so hard to play to a Zoom audience, and they came and did this concert just for us and live streamed it too, but they put it all together for the convention, and I just want to give them a really big thank you. So everybody's unmuted. Let's go.
Oh, yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Just great.
Very inspiring. Very inspiring.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, Ben, take us home.
Thank you so much, Ellen. Thank you, Joanne. Love working with you. Great to hear your songs for the first time. Great to be sharing the stage also with David Rovics. I'll do a song that was written by Florence Reese back in the 1930s that I've adapted. For many protests in UMass Amherst. I'm in Western Massachusetts, and there at UMass Amherst, there's a lot of activism on campus protesting the genocide in Gaza and also the university's connection to it through particularly the big weapons manufacturer Raytheon, which has quite a presence there on campus, particularly in the engineering department. So if you go to school at UMass Amherst and you want to study engineering, chances are that you might get recruited into some kind of weapons research lab there at UMass. Is like, this is what we're using the brightest minds of the country to devote all that energy, all that talent to killing people. And the campus encampment movement that sprung up in the spring but has been growing for years has really dramatized this. Here's one of the songs I've sung for them at UMass. Come people here at UMass, there's news we have to tell. Raytheon is driving our world into hell. Which side are you on? 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 This corporation giant gets rich from weapons sales. Countries turn to chaos as constant war prevails. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Raytheon helps Israel to cause a genocide. It isn't complicated for me to take a side. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Politicians tell us how much they love Ukraine. They're sending arms from Raytheon. It only brings more pain. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? We can't afford good housing. We can't afford health care. We can't afford clean water, 'cause Raytheon left us bare. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? We need decent wages and no more student debt. We'll get it from the money spent on tanks and fighter jets. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Resist the weapons makers. Don't listen to their lies. This world hasn't got a chance unless we organize. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? 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 Which side are you on?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. Last song I'll do was one that was mentioned earlier. No More Sacrifice Zones. The song was, you're welcome. The song was inspired by a book by the journalist Chris Hedges, 2012, Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt. And in the book, he and his co-author Joe Sacco, who's the illustrator, travel around the United States looking at sacrifice zones, places that have had the wealth of the land extracted only to be replaced with pollution, having systematic neglect of the population in these places. And the book starts in Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in North Dakota. The army closed you in as they drove you from the plains. They're turning your homeland to a sacrifice zone. The company took the uranium, just the fallout remains. They're turning your homeland to a sacrifice zone where your story's been forgotten. We will make it known. Pine Ridge, you are not alone. Your homeland has been desecrated. The next could be our own. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. The state makes voting obsolete through emergency decrees. They're turning your city to a sacrifice zone. The cops occupy your street to bring you to your knees. They're turning your city to a sacrifice zone where your story's been forgotten. We will make it known. Ferguson, you are not alone. Your city has been subjugated. The next could be our own. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. The coalmen blew the mountain, killing everything nearby. They're turning your region to a sacrifice zone. The state refuses to help your people as you watch them die. They're turning your region to a sacrifice zone where your story's been forgotten. We will make it known. Appalachia, Appalachia, you are not alone. Your region has been desolated. The next could be our own. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. The fighter jets will cut you down to push you all away. They're turning your nation to a sacrifice zone. The bombs that kill your children came from the USA. They're turning your nation to a sacrifice zone where your story's been forgotten. We will make it known. Palestine, Palestine, you are not alone. Your nation has been decimated. The next could be our own. No more sacrifice zones. No more sacrifice zones. Where your story's been forgotten, we will make it known. Pine Ridge, Ferguson, Appalachia, Yemen, Immokalee, Flint, Michigan, Northern Alberta, and Camden, Standing Rock, Navajo, Palestine, and Puerto Rico. We stand with you, you are not alone. Your lands and lives were sacrificed, the next will be our own. No more sacrifice zones, no more sacrifice zones, no more sacrifice zones, no more sacrifice zones. Thank you. Thank you so much to the Veterans for Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben, for all your live streaming and for your music and for closing out with my favorite song of yours.
Thanks, Ben.
I had posted a couple of questions in the chat asking about because I don't know how this whole streaming thing works. This has been recorded and presumably we'll be able to watch it again on YouTube or something.
That's right. The link, I'll post it in the chat, but basically you'll be able to watch the whole recording on YouTube as soon as this thing ends.